Welcome to Shipai Village, right in the heart of Guangzhou's Tianhe district, one of China's most modern urban powerhouses. But step through this unassuming entrance and you enter a completely different world. This is the largest urban village in Guangzhou, a hidden maze swallowed by the city, but a place that has, up till now, resisted the trend to eliminate the remnants of old China. Shipai isn't new. Its roots go back over 750 years, back to the year of 1273 during the Southern Song dynasty, when a man named Dong Yilong migrated here from Nanxiong and founded a small hamlet. Over centuries, it grew into a prosperous rural settlement, complete with ancestral halls and traditional Guangdong architecture. But everything changed in the late 20th century as Guangzhou exploded into a global megacity, especially after the 1990s economic boom. The farmland around Shipai was swallowed up for skyscrapers, malls, and highways. The villagers lost their fields, but they didn't lose their land rights. What happened next is one of the most fascinating stories of China's rapid urbanization. With no more farming to do, villagers turned their homes into something extraordinary. They built upward, adding floor after floor on tiny plots, creating these incredible handshake buildings that you are seeing right here in this video. You've probably heard the term before. Basically, these structures are so close together that neighbors on opposite sides can literally reach out of their windows and shake hands. Some alleys are so narrow that sunlight barely reaches the ground floor. If you've never been to one of these urban villages, then you can't really fathom it. Words won't really do the trick. That's why I wanted to take you guys on this walking tour, to allow you to see what it's really like and to sort of vicariously through me experience it. Hey guys, quick interruption. If you are here watching my video, there's a high likelihood that you have an interest in China. Well, personally, I think it's important that we all learn a foreign language, and I want to suggest choosing Chinese as your foreign language. First of all, by studying the Chinese language, you will really start to understand China on a much deeper level. Also, Chinese is the second most widely spoken language in the world, with over 1 billion Chinese speakers worldwide. People say that learning Chinese is so difficult, and let's be frank, in some ways it is, but it's not nearly as tough as you think, and the grammar is super easy. I want to encourage you to check out my channel sponsor, Excel Mandarin, and take advantage of their free trial lesson offer. You have nothing to lose and potentially a lot to gain. Excel Mandarin has bilingual native Chinese speakers based in the US who can teach you real Chinese, and they have the ability to take you from beginner all the way up to fluency. They offer 24/7 support, and they have all of the resources available that you could ever want. I learned Chinese by fumbling my way around on the streets of China. It was a really fun and interesting way to learn, but it wasn't very efficient. If I'd had a native speaker guiding me and helping me along the way, I would have learned a lot more, a lot faster. So check them out today, sign up for a free trial lesson, and make sure not to forget the most important part. Be sure to tell them that Mr. Chopsticks sent you. Okay, now back to the video. There are over 170 alleys packed into less than 1 square kilometer. Buildings stacked 6, 7, even 8 stories high, wired with a chaotic web of electric cables overhead. Yet, somehow, despite the environment that most of us would consider less than appealing, life thrives here. Estimates put the population up around 100,000 people. mostly migrant workers from across China who come for jobs in construction, delivery, tech, or factory jobs nearby. They choose to live in this village because rents are shockingly affordable compared to the apartments and homes just outside the village. A tiny room here might cost a fraction of what you'd pay just meters away outside the limits of Shipai Urban Village. But it's not just about cheap housing. Shipai is a lifeline. For the original villagers, now often called urban villagers or landlords, they've built a rental empire. Many collect steady dividends from their properties, turning former farmers into some of the wealthiest people per square meter in the city. It's a very strange reversal. The outsiders fuel the economy, while the locals live off of the rent in a place that looks frozen in time. Yet amid the shocking chaos, there's real community back in these alleys. Little vendors selling wontons and skewers, steam rolling off of them to fill the darkened alleyways only lit by neon signs. Delivery riders zipping through on e-bikes, laundry hanging low enough to hit you in the head as you walk through, kids playing in dimly lit, tiny open spaces, elders just sitting around, hanging out, chatting outside ancestral halls. It's chaotic, yes. Walking into a place like this would shock most people, but not in a negative way. It would just be endlessly fascinating for most people. But despite the very chaotic, rudimentary appearance, this village is very alive with energy. The hustle and bustle back here is non-stop. You see, this place won't last forever. Villages just like this one are disappearing from China's landscape at an alarming rate as they continue to modernize and make way for new developments, shopping malls, etc. It's a damn shame too, because these old villages have character. They have stories to tell. They are truly interesting, unlike China's modern cookie-cutter megacities. And you feel like we're inside, but we're actually still outside. It's just these buildings are so close together that you feel like you're inside.
Hey guys, I wanted to come back at night to show you guys this Shipai Village, this urban village here in Guangzhou. And the interesting thing is you can see what's right across the street from it. It's built up, it's very, very nice. But just back this way, you're stepping into a different dimension. And guys, it's a little bit shady filming back there, just because, I mean, first of all, as a foreigner here in China, I stand out so much. Plus the area, although I think it's awesome, well, in the opinion of Chinese people, a lot of them at least, they might think that it's, you know, a foreigner trying to show a less than glamorous side of China, which what they fail to understand is that I don't give a shit about the glamorous side of China. I think it's boring. The part I like are these, you know, old villages, whether it's a rural village or an urban village. It's so interesting, it's so cool, but it is a little bit hard to film back there without drawing too much attention. But I'm gonna see what I can do, and I'll do the best I can, guys. So when you first come back here off the main road, this is what it looks like. It looks like they're fixing it up, making it nicer and newer. But once you go back here a bit and turn off one of these side roads, well, that's when you enter the labyrinth of the urban village here. Or should I call it a maze? And as you walk deeper into the urban village, you can see it kind of starts to narrow a little bit. And you start getting back here toward the nitty-gritty. I mean, right here is really nice. Building in some new, fresh, modern-looking stores. But just a short distance away, we enter a whole new reality. And then before you really get to the urban village part, which is back there, you've got this really cool pond right in here with these pagoda-looking areas. It's very beautiful. Got a bunch of little shops here selling poultry, seafood, and that looks fresh. You can see it's tight quarters back here, and you got these e-bikes just cruising right through. You got to kind of watch your step. All right, up here we're getting to some pretty tight quarters. You can see it's starting to look hectic. I think it looks pretty cool though. You got all these lit up signs and stuff. It's quite vibrant back here. It's like something that you'd see in a movie. I mean, I've traveled to quite a few different places, and these urban villages in China are definitely unique. And apparently back in here, back in this maze of small alleys, apparently there are like 170 different ones. Just like this would be one. This is kind of a main one here. But yeah, like 170 different little alleyways, or whatever you want to call them. You could definitely get lost back here pretty easy. So right here we've got a little corner store type of thing. Over here you've got a clinic. Over here you've got a fast food chicken place. It's called Wallace. Basically it's a copycat of KFC. And a lot of these little hole-in-the-wall restaurants that I've seen back here have been packed. And there are thousands and thousands of people that live back in this urban village. And what's sad is that these types of villages, well, they're getting less and less. And in a few more years, they're gonna be very hard to find. They're disappearing, which I think is very, very sad. So guys, you can see the characters up there. Shipai, that's the name of this village. And you've seen it in the daytime, you've seen it in the night. And I'm pretty much gonna wrap things up and conclude this video. You can see it's a very interesting place. You know, I can't really describe to you guys how it feels to walk back through those dark little alleyways and just see the hustle and bustle, and, you know, catch a glimpse of the thousands of lives that are being lived back along these narrow, dark little alleyways. So yeah, I hope you all have enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I have a lot more content on the way. So until then, guys, take care. We'll catch you in the next video. 下次再见.
While I appreciate all viewers and supporters, there is a growing group of supporters who support me via YouTube memberships and Patreon subscriptions. And I want to give all of you a shout out. You know who you are. Thanks for the extra support and helping me to get a step or two closer to hopefully finally someday achieving my dream of being able to do YouTube full time. To the Grasshopper and Tiger tiers, thank you guys so much. An extra special shout out to my P-Shield tier members. You are amazing. And of course, I'd be remiss to fail to mention my top tier supporters, Lee, Martin S, and David is Dawei. Truly, truly appreciate all of you. We're on this journey together, and trust me when I say, we're just getting started, my friends.